Some years simply pass by, and some years change everything. 2026 will be one of those. A call to leave the rush behind. Open your eyes. And rediscover wonder. Outside, the world awaits you with streets that tell stories, lights that breathe the future, and aromas that awaken the soul. Imagine watching the sunrise from a terrace in Lisbon, getting lost among ancient temples in Kyoto, dancing under the Buenos Aires sky, or seeing the desert shimmer in Dubai. Each city holds a different promise: art, adventure, tranquility. And that perfect moment that reminds you why travel is worthwhile. Singapore. Singapore is a symphony of tropical modernity. Between glass skyscrapers and futuristic gardens, this city-state demonstrates that progress and nature are not mutually exclusive. Can you imagine a city where trees grow over buildings and butterflies share space with business executives in suits? Since its independence in 1965, Singapore has reinvented itself. It has transformed from a commercial port into an urban laboratory. Official documents highlight its unique blend of cultures: Malay, Chinese, Indian, and British. Different languages are heard on every street. Ancient recipes are savored, and efficiency is palpable. The subway is punctual. The air smells of incense, and the parks are cleaner than an operating room. At night, Marina Bay lights up like a starry sky. The vertical gardens of Supertree Grove shimmer to the rhythm of symphonic music, and the food stalls in the hawker centers serve delicacies for less than the price of a coffee in Europe. People stroll leisurely, knowing that the city never sleeps, but neither does it shout. Singapore shows that the future can have a soul, that steel and flowers can coexist peacefully. Wouldn't you like to sit facing the bay and watch the city breathe, precise and vibrant at the same time? Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is a city that dances. In its streets, the tango plays, even when there is no music. The wide avenues, old cafes, and wrought iron balconies lend it a romantic air that only cities steeped in history possess. Would you like to get lost in a neighborhood where every corner holds a story of love or heartbreak? Founded in 1536, Buenos Aires blends European soul with Latin American passion. Historical records call it the Paris of the South, and not without reason. Its French-inspired architecture and rich literature make it a monument to nostalgia. In San Telmo, musicians strum their guitars while couples dance among the cobblestones. In La Boca, the brightly painted houses seem to smile at the sun. In Palermo, young people are inventing new forms of art and life. Food is a ceremony. Asado, empanadas, and mate shared with friends. The people of Buenos Aires speak with their hands and their hearts, as if each word were a caress. Buenos Aires teaches that sadness can also be beautiful, that every melancholy can be danced. Wouldn't you like to try a tango with the city as your partner? Venice, Italy. Venice floats between water and the centuries. Built on more than 100 islands joined by bridges, it is a miracle that defies logic and time. How can a city survive on the water for more than 1,000 years? Venetian documents from the 9th century already mentioned its maritime power, and even today, its adventurous spirit sails the canals. In every corner there is art, in every stone a story. Gondolas glide silently, palaces reflect like weary mirrors, and the bells mark the hour with the elegance of those in no hurry. Venice lives in the details, in the sound of water lapping against the wood, in the aroma of freshly ground coffee wafting from the cafes. In street, Mark Square, pigeons fly like musical notes above the bell tower. Tourists happily lose themselves, knowing that every road leads to a canal. At dusk, the Grand Canal is tinged with gold, and the city seems like a dream that never ends. Venice teaches us that the most fragile beauty is the most eternal. Wouldn't you like to get lost and find yourself among its reflections? Kyoto. Kyoto is a poem made of stone, wood, and flowers. For over 1,000 years, it was the spiritual heart of Japan, and even today, it beats calmly beneath the cherry blossoms. Can you imagine walking through a bamboo forest, listening to the whisper of the wind? Founded in 794, it was the imperial capital and the cradle of traditions such as the tea ceremony, ikebana, and the kimono. Official records describe it as the living memory of the Japanese soul. Every temple holds a story, every garden a lesson in patience. In spring, sakura petals cover the temples like pink snow. In autumn, the maples set the air ablaze with their fiery red. In Gion, geisha walk with serene steps, reminding us that elegance needs no fanfare. Kyoto teaches us that perfection lies in simplicity. A gesture, a cup, a silence. Visitors who explore it never return the same. Something inside them learns to breathe differently. Don't you think there are places that teach without speaking? Chicago, United States. Chicago is the city where steel sings. On the shores of Lake Michigan, the skyscrapers seem like musical scores that the wind plays every day. Can you imagine a city where architecture and music share the same rhythm? Founded in 1833, it was reborn after the Great Fire and became a laboratory of modernism. Official documents celebrate it as the birthplace of vertical architecture and urban blues. The skyscraper, electric jazz, and the deepest pizza on the planet were all born here. In summer, the parks are filled with concerts. In winter, the cold seeps into your bones, but people still smile. The museums are temples of art, and the markets, cathedrals of flavor. Chicago teaches that strength isn't shouted, it's built. From the Willis Tower observation deck, the world seems small, and the city infinite. Wouldn't you like to touch the sky with a glance? Prague, Czech Republic. Prague is a story that refuses to end. Its Gothic towers, bridges, and clocks seem to have sprung from a medieval dream. Wouldn't you love to hear the story unfold when the wind blows along the Vltava River? Founded in the 9th century, it was the capital of kings, alchemists, and artists. UNESCO documents call it the city of 100 spires and the jewel of Central Europe. Every street invites you to get lost, every square to linger. Charles Bridge pulsates with musicians and painters. The castle overlooks the city like a patient guardian. In the cafes, time melts away amidst beer and poetry. In winter, the snow transforms the rooftops into a white chessboard. Prague teaches us that true beauty needs no embellishment. It shines naturally. Don't you think some cities are made for dreamers? Munich, Germany. Munich combines Bavarian precision with the warmth of a song. Nestled between the Alps and the Isar River, the city breathes tradition and art. Can you imagine a place where flowers and beer share the same calendar? Founded by monks in the 12th century, its name comes from Mönch, monk, and it still retains that tranquil spirit. Historical records recognize it as the cradle of humanism, classical music. During Oktoberfest, the city erupts in joy. Traditional costumes, songs, laughter, and countless toasts. But beyond the festivities, Munich is also art and culture. Its museums hold treasures, its parks are oases of peace, and its residents enjoy an enviable balance between work and leisure. Munich teaches us that happiness can be planned methodically. Don't you think organization has its charm too? Bangkok. Bangkok is an explosion of life, color, and aroma. Golden temples compete with skyscrapers and floating markets. Have you ever tried spicy soup on a boat while Thai music plays? Founded in 1782, Bangkok is the beating heart of the Kingdom of Siam. Historical documents describe it as the City of Angels, even though the traffic might seem like the work of demons. Its energy, however, captivates anyone who dares to experience it. Waterun shines like a beacon beside the Chao Phraya River, while monks walk barefoot at dawn. Street stalls offer unforgettable flavors: mango with rice, red curry, noodles with peanut sauce. Bangkok teaches us that chaos can also have harmony, and that a smile can be a universal language. Wouldn't you like to get lost in its friendly disorder? Marrakesh, Morocco. Marrakesh is a melody of drums, spices, and mystery. Jama El Fna Square teems with life. Storytellers, musicians, acrobats, and the aroma of cumin mingle in a spectacle that is never repeated twice. Wouldn't you love to lose yourself in its souks and let your senses guide you? Founded in the 11th century, it was an imperial capital and a center of trans-Saharan trade. UNESCO documents declare it a World Heritage Site for its vibrant Medina. The walls turn red at sunset. The courtyards of the riads conceal fountains and flowers, and the sound of the adhan marks the passage of the day. Visitors discover a city of contrasts. Bustle outside, calm within. Marrakesh teaches that beauty isn't seen, it's breathed. Don't you think the soul also needs to get lost to find itself? Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Dubai is a symphony of sand and steel, a city that has learned to defy gravity. Where once there was only desert, today towers rise that touch the clouds. Can you imagine looking at the horizon from the tallest building in the world? In just half a century, Dubai transformed itself from a fishing village into a global symbol of ambition and elegance. Official documents chronicle its astonishing growth, fueled by innovation and vision. The Burj Khalifa rises like a crystal spear, while the traditional souks hold the scent of the past. Between the dunes and the skyscrapers, Dubai pulsates like a bridge between centuries. At night, the lights reflect an otherworldly brilliance. The desert sleeps, but the city awakens. Dancing fountains, shimmering avenues, boats crossing the bay like moving mirrors. In the gold and spice souks, the aromas of cinnamon, dates, and saffron fill the air. Bedouins still tell stories under the stars, reminding us that before skyscrapers, there was the spoken word. Dubai teaches us that a future without roots cannot flourish. Don't you think the greatest luxury is preserving memory? Hoi An, Vietnam. Hoi An is a postcard frozen in time. A former 15th century trading port, it blends Chinese, Japanese, and Vietnamese heritages with enchanting serenity. Would you like to lose yourself in a place where the houses breathe history? Their yellow walls and dark roofs reflect centuries of trade, friendship, and cultural exchange. Historical records have named it a World Heritage Site for its balance between tradition and modern life. The sound of bicycles, the scent of green tea, and the glow of lanterns create a landscape that seems like a timeless dream. At dusk, the city lights up with silk lanterns. The lights reflect on the Thuban River, and wishes travel across the water like floating stars. The markets offer spices, silk, and smiles. Tailors sew suits in hours. Children laugh as they sell lanterns to visitors. In Hoi An, time walks barefoot, without haste or noise. It teaches that beauty isn't always shouted. Sometimes it's simply illuminated. Wouldn't you like to stay until the last lantern goes out over the river? Krakow, Poland. Krakow is an ancient symphony written in stone. Founded over 1,000 years ago, it was home to kings and guardians of European culture. Can you imagine a city where history breathes with elegance? Its main market square, one of the largest in Europe, vibrates with centuries of art and humanity. UNESCO documents declare it a World Heritage Site for its impeccable preservation. The Gothic towers, Wawel Castle, and cobblestone streets bear witness to a civilization that withstood time with dignity. As evening falls, the air fills with soft notes. In the cafes, the aroma of coffee and cake mingles with the voices of poets. The golden lights of the Vistula reflect the city's tranquil soul. In Kazimierz, the synagogues and walls whisper melodies of the past. Krakow teaches us that history isn't kept in museums. It lives in the people, in their gestures, in their tranquility. Don't you think there are cities that heal the soul just by looking at them? Madrid, Spain. Madrid is a constant celebration of sunshine and life. Founded in the 9th century, it grew amidst palaces and markets, cafes and songs. Can you imagine living in a city where every conversation ends in laughter? Records call it the heart of Spain, and they're not exaggerating. Its streets breathe history and joy. Gran Via sparkles with theatrical lights. El Retiro offers verdant calm, and the museums hold centuries of art. Each neighborhood, Malasaña, Lavapiés, Chamberí, has its own rhythm, its own history, and its own way of saying welcome. When night falls, the terraces fill with guitars and voices. Tapas travel from table to table. Friends multiply. And the moon seems to smile down on the rooftops. In Madrid, Life is shared in small sips, wine, words, hugs. The city teaches us that happiness is found in the everyday and that laughter can also be a treasure. Wouldn't you like to stay and listen to the sound of Spanish joy under the summer sky? Tallinn, Estonia. Tallinn seems like a Nordic fairy tale that was intentionally left open. Founded as a Hanseatic port in the 13th century, it boasts an old town so well preserved that walking through it is like stepping into an illustrated book. Would you like to lose yourself within walls where the past and future share a coffee? UNESCO documents recognize it as a Baltic jewel for its harmony between the Middle Ages and the digital era. The wind from the Baltic Sea still echoes through its pointed towers, and the cobblestone streets seem to hold secrets of sailors and merchants. The colorful facades, amber markets, and artisan workshops make history feel alive, welcoming, and tangible. In winter, snow blankets the city like a white sigh, and cafes exude the scent of cinnamon and freshly baked bread. In summer, flowers fill the squares, and music spills from every corner. Young programmers work from cafes that were once taverns, while the elderly share tales of ice and hope. Tallinn teaches us that the future doesn't erase memory. It merely translates it into new languages. Don't you think progress can have a soul if it's built upon memories? Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro is an embrace between sea and mountains, a city seemingly born of joy. Founded in 1565, it blends African, Portuguese, and indigenous roots. In a harmony that is felt more than explained. Can you imagine waking up to samba and the ocean at the same time? Records describe it as the Cidade Maravilhosa, marvelous city, and one look at Christ the Redeemer is enough to understand. The beaches of Ipanema and Copacabana are its widest smile, while the Tijuca rainforest breathes within the asphalt. Rio is not just a landscape, it is an emotion that is danced. During Carnival, the city transforms into a wave of color and rhythm, but even without costumes or drums, life here vibrates naturally. Cariocas laugh, sing, share, and dance for no reason at all. The sunset paints the sea gold, children play barefoot, and the air smells of coffee and salt. Rio teaches that happiness is not kept to oneself, it is shared. Wouldn't you like to learn its language, made entirely of rhythm and smiles? Paris, France. Paris is a symphony of stone, light, and fragrance, cradle of poets, painters, and thinkers. It has inspired the world for centuries. With its natural elegance, Can you imagine strolling through streets that seem written in verse, founded more than 2 millennia ago? It has been empire, revolution, and muse to artists. UNESCO documents recognize it as a World Heritage Site for its beauty and inexhaustible history. The Seine meanders between gilded bridges, and every corner holds a romantic whisper. Paris isn't just visited, it's breathed in like a slow poem. By day, the city sparkles with the light of museums and markets. By night, the Seine reflects the dreams of lovers. The cafes smell of butter and literature, and the terraces are filled with conversations that never end. In Montmartre, artists still seek the light that inspired Van Gogh, and in the Latin Quarter, young people continue to debate the meaning of life. Paris teaches us that love and art are universal languages. Wouldn't you like to lose yourself in its streets just to find yourself reflected there? London is a city that thinks, dreams, and smiles in 100 different languages. At night, the lights of the Thames reflect the life that never stops. The theaters of the West End raise their curtains, the underground hums like a subterranean heart, and Londoners walk with a confident stride and a curious gaze. Between the art of the British Museum and the bustle of Camden, the city shows that tradition and innovation can dance together. Wouldn't you like to lose yourself in a light rain that smells of history and hope? London is a stage where history never falls. Founded by the Romans, it has been an empire. An inspiration and a refuge for poets. Would you like to hear Big Ben ticking the world's pulse? On every corner, the past blends with the modern. Medieval castles coexist with glass skyscrapers. UNESCO documents recognize it as a cradle of cultural diversity. In the parks, swans swim gracefully. In the pubs, stories are served alongside a frothy pint. Istanbul, Turkey. Istanbul is the point where two worlds embrace, half Europe, half Asia. Istanbul unites civilizations, religions, and flavors with a timeless naturalness. Can you imagine hearing the call to prayer and church bells simultaneously? Founded as Byzantium, then Constantinople, its history is a mosaic of cultures. UNESCO documents refer to it as the eternal city of the Bosphorus. The domes of Hagia Sophia and the Sultan Ahmed Mosque dominate the skyline, and the bazaars overflow with spices, carpets, and laughter. As the sun sets over the strait, the minarets glow with gold. Boats drift by slowly, and the aroma of Turkish coffee mingles. With the whisper of the wind. On the cobblestone streets, past and present converse like old friends. Istanbul teaches us that beauty lies in the blend. Not the border. Don't you think some cities were made to unite, not divide? Vienna, Austria. Vienna is an eternal melody, written with notes of marble and wind, birthplace of Mozart, Beethoven, and Strauss. It breathes music. Even in silence. Can you imagine walking through streets where every window holds a symphony? Founded on the banks of the Danube, it was an imperial capital. And a center of European culture. Historical documents recognize it as a World Heritage Site for its elegance and artistic legacy. In its gilded palaces, the echoes of waltzes still resonate, and the cafes invite leisurely conversation. Vienna is art made flesh. By day, the parks fill with flowers and violins. By night, the opera house lights shimmer like antique jewels. Confectionaries smell of chocolate and almonds. Carriages trot slowly, and the air tastes of history. The Viennese live with a quiet elegance. Where courtesy is customary and culture a necessity. Vienna teaches us that beauty can be as precise as a compass. Wouldn't you love to hear the echo of a violin among its palaces? Las Vegas. Las Vegas is the desert's most dazzling mirage. Born amidst sand and silence, it chose to become a perpetual spectacle. Can you imagine a city where the night never ends? Founded in the 20th century, it transformed from a cowboy stop into the entertainment capital of the world. Local accounts describe it as the American dream in neon lights. Its casinos, hotels, and theaters are modern temples of fantasy. But behind the ostentation lies an almost magical energy, that of those who believe anything is possible. When the sun sets, Las Vegas awakens. The lights dance, the fountains sing, and visitors become accomplices in a shared illusion. The shows blend music, dance, and acrobatics. The restaurants offer flavors from around the globe. However, if you look beyond the glitter, you'll find desert and silence, a reminder that even dreams need pause. Las Vegas teaches us that joy can also be an art. Don't you think we all deserve a night where time stands still? Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a symphony of lights and traditions that never fades. Built between mountains and sea, it beats to the rhythm of millions of stories that intersect without colliding. Can you imagine a city where skyscrapers coexist with centuries-old temples? Founded as a trading port, it transformed into one of the world's most dynamic centers. Official documents describe it as the bridge between East and West. In the markets, the aroma of tea mingles with that of spices, and neon signs shine like modern beacons. Hong Kong is speed and calm, discipline and chaos, all in a single breath. When night falls, the horizon becomes a tableau of dancing lights. From Victoria Peak, the view seems endless. The harbor vibrates with ships that dart across the water like metallic fireflies. In the alleyways, dumplings steam, the elderly practice Tai Chi, and the young rush toward the future. Hong Kong teaches us that balance can thrive within movement. Don't you think the human soul also shines brighter amidst change? Vancouver, Canada. Vancouver is a city that breathes greenery and ocean. Surrounded by snow-capped mountains and seemingly endless forests, it combines urban elegance with the tranquility of nature. Can you imagine sipping coffee while watching whales on the horizon? Founded in the 19th century, it grew as a port of dreams and diversity. Official records highlight it as one of the most sustainable cities in the world. Its clean streets, immense parks, and fresh air invite you to live at a slower pace. In Stanley Park, centuries-old trees tell stories of the indigenous past, and the scent of cedar mingles with the sea breeze. As evening falls, the city is adorned with reflections. The harbor lights dance on the water, cyclists cross the bridges, and musicians fill the air with jazz. In the markets, smoked salmon shares space with exotic fruits and laughter. Vancouver shows that modernity can walk barefoot on the land. Don't you think that the balance between city and nature is true luxury? London, United Kingdom. San Francisco. San Francisco is a song of wind, mist, and hope. Founded in the 18th century, it was a haven for dreamers, gold seekers, and rebels of the spirit. Can you imagine a city that changes without losing its essence? Among hills, cable cars, and bridges, San Francisco combines art, technology, and bohemianism. Historical records call it the city of perpetual change, and one only needs to look at its skyline to understand. The Golden Gate Bridge rises like a red dragon above the water, Victorian houses line up like notes in a melody, and the air smells of salt and freedom. In the Haight-Ashbury neighborhood, echoes of the Summer of Love can still be heard. In Chinatown, streetlights illuminate the history of a community that never ceases to be reborn. Mission District cafes overflow with ideas. Artists paint murals that tell stories of dreams. And sunsets paint the bay in shades of orange and violet. San Francisco teaches us that diversity doesn't divide, but rather multiplies. Don't you think freedom can take the form of a bridge shrouded in mist? Berlin. Berlin is a city that rebuilt itself, brick by brick, note by note. Destroyed, divided, and reborn. Today it symbolizes the power of change. Can you imagine walking through a city that has turned its past into a lesson? Founded in the 13th century, its history is a mirror of Europe. Records describe it as the capital of the cultural Renaissance. Its murals, parks, and cafes are a haven for artists, thinkers, and dreamers. On the wall, graffiti transforms memory into color, and the air vibrates with creativity. By day, the city breathes music and freedom. By night, it vibrates with an electric rhythm. Bicycles cross the Tiergarten. Markets overflow with the aromas of bread and curry. And young people invent the future from hidden studios. Berlin teaches us that a scar can be art and memory, a bridge. Don't you think that true beauty is born from starting over? Cusco, Peru. Cusco is the heart that still beats in the Andes. Founded by the Incas and perched atop sacred mountains, it was the navel of the Andean world. Can you imagine walking through streets where every stone holds an ancient secret? Historical documents recognize it as a World Heritage Site for its mestizo architecture. Inca walls crowned by colonial balconies. The Plaza de Armas, surrounded by churches and smiles, vibrates with history. The air is thin, but the soul expands. Cusco is a city that is felt more than seen. As evening falls, the colors of the sky blend with alpaca textiles and the melodies of the quina flute. In the markets, corn, potatoes, and coca are symbols of living heritage. Travelers drink mate and learn that here, patience is wisdom. Cusco teaches that spirituality isn't prayed over, it's breathed. Wouldn't you like to hear the sound of silence among the sacred mountains? Colonia del Sacramento. Colonia del Sacramento is a breathless oasis on the banks of the Rio de la Plata. Founded by the Portuguese in the 17th century, it blends stone, history, and tranquility. Can you imagine walking through streets where the silence carries an ancient accent? UNESCO documents declare it a World Heritage Site. For its perfectly preserved historic center. Its lampposts, cobblestones, and walls tell of centuries of conflict and reconciliation. Colonia is a time capsule that teaches us to observe without haste. When the sun sets, the lights reflect on the water, and cats stroll across the rooftops like gentle shadows. The cafes serve croissants and a touch of nostalgia, and the air is scented with jasmine. On the waterfront, travelers gaze at the horizon and understand that beauty can also be stillness. Colonia teaches that the past doesn't weigh you down. It accompanies you. Wouldn't you like to stay there just to listen to the sound of peace? Cartagena, Colombia. Cartagena is a golden smile bathed by the Caribbean. Founded in the 16th century, it was a port of gold. A fortress and a legend. Can you imagine a city where the sun paints the walls with joy? Historical documents recognize it as a World Heritage Site for its blend of history, music, and flavor. Its colonial walls, flower-filled balconies, and cobblestone streets are a feast for the senses. In Cartagena, time doesn't pass, it dances. At night, the plazas fill with music, drums beat, and laughter mingles with the aroma of rum and the sea. Pirate tales are told to the rhythm of salsa, and the wind carries salty promises. The people of Cartagena live with open hearts and warm eyes. Cartagena teaches that happiness isn't kept to yourself. It's shared. Wouldn't you like to dance until dawn by the sea that never forgets?